Hey, ladies.
Yes.
Hi, Zoom was making me take a test to log in. How are you all? To see your faces. Good? Are we doing good? Okay. All right. I'm excited to dive in with you. I would love some updates on your tapping and that use this time to get advice, to tell me where you are, and I can like use my skills to tap into what I think would be best for you to focus on for the next couple of weeks, especially if you come to one of these a month. If you're only able to make it to this later one a month, definitely make sure you check in with me today and we talk about what you're going to focus on for the next month. Okay. All right. Katie and then Jen will be next. Katie K.
Hello.
Hey.
My win is that I did some anger and some self-sabotage, and I had a visual of my father's presence going from big and scary, whoop, down to nothing.
Oh, wow. That's cool. Has it stayed
Yep.
that
Yeah, I just like I realized he's never going to apologize, and I don't need the apology. And that helped me. And as I didn't need the apology and it was no longer important to me, like his size just shrunk.
Oh, wow, that's really cool. I love that. I love that.
Because
See,
for
this is
the
the difference. I know a lot of us are in personal growth, and many people talk about forgiveness work, right? Like, who's heard of forgiveness work or tried it? The missing piece to forgiveness work is the anger step, the step where you allow yourself to get angry at that person. You can't actually truly forgive or completely allow somebody to apologize and really receive their forgiveness or their apology if you haven't allowed yourself to get angry for what happened. So, sounds like you went through that process, Katie. Well
I
done.
I did, and if he's not going to apologize, it's no longer on my mind that it's needed. It's time to move on to something else.
Awesome. And you know what? Also, crazy things have happened. I've had people say, Brittany, you will not believe it. My dad has never come to Thanksgiving in my entire life. And all of a sudden, she's in this class, she's doing all of her anger work, and he just decides to show up at Thanksgiving for the first time. So you never know. I mean, it's not a promise, but you never know what is going to happen. Often, when we stop needing things from the people who have wounded us, that's when they actually start showing up as we really want them to be. So anyway, just putting that out there.
I feel like my expectations are low, but I'm mentally prepared if it happens.
Awesome.
Um,
Awesome.
the question my therapist and I were talking about today, and he would like your insight, is it's been very crazy at work as I'm into the holiday season. And with tariffs, I'm a buyer. It's been bananas. And I have found myself feeling comforted by junk food, but not eating it, just having it around me.
Oh, interesting.
Just buying it and having it in my office, it just really feels like a weight is lifted and that I'm more focused. And I don't know, it's weird, and neither of us really have an explanation for it, so we thought we would ask.
Cool. I like the challenge. Okay, so I want you to close your eyes and I want you to imagine, does anybody have this for like food in their fridge or food in their cupboard? I think I've had this at different periods of time, or like you have to like, do you ever like buy a bunch of things that you don't need just to like know that it's there? Okay, if you want to follow along with this visualization and just figure out what that's about for you too, while I'm doing this with Katie, you might be able to get some insight for yourself. Okay, so Katie, what I want you to do is I want you to think about going to your office, and it's somewhere you leave your house to go to.
Correct.
Okay. So imagine you go to your office one day and the janitor the night before has accidentally cleaned out all of the junk food in your office. Okay. That feeling that you made the face for. Okay. Yeah. As you feel into that bad feeling, I want you to follow that bad feeling back in time and tell me how old you are, or tell me what just happened or what's about to happen. What is,
Mm,
you got it?
Yep.
What is it?
Okay. I was in third grade. We were leaving the grocery store, and the car was so old and rusted, there was a hole, and groceries fell out of the hole in the
Oh,
trunk of the car. And when by the time we got home and realized what happened, my dad was so angry that he proceeded to make the rest of the weekend pure living hell, and I was afraid of him.
mm, wow.
Woo!
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So for some reason,
Wow.
I mean, it makes sense. You know, for some reason, your brain linked having groceries around to feeling safe so that nobody will yell at you or nobody will, act in a way that's going to be hurtful to you. So if you did some echo tapping and maybe some anger work around that memory, that might stop.
Yes.
Did anybody else get an insight or an aha moment? Did I do it too fast? So what you do is you think about not buying the food. You think about not having the food, wherever it is, wherever you're stockpiling the food. Imagine coming home and there's no groceries in the cupboard or there's nothing in the refrigerator and you can't go out to get food for a while, or all you have is just like the very basic foods. As you feel into that uncomfortable feeling, because that's going to make you feel some way, follow that bad feeling back in time and see if you can recall what happened or what it reminds you of, what that bad feeling reminds you of. Okay,
Yeah.
so that I would do. That's probably just a one session tap.
Yeah. Yeah, because this is a new thing. Having the
Yeah,
food and
and the
feeling
new thing is
comfort.
you're not eating it, you're just keeping it around. So that's
I
just
just, yeah.
awesome. All
Thank
right,
you so much.
welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for being the first to go. All right, Jen's next, and then Christine after Jen.
Hey, Brittany, how are you?
Good, Jen, how are you?
Good, thanks. So I actually had one of my questions was about anger, and that was interesting about the forgiveness part. That was great. I have a hard time doing anger work. Um, I don't have any anger from like the past, really, like nothing too crazy, but like more so current, like people frustrate me. Um,
Mm.
I get mad for, for no, I don't know if it's like for any reason or I just get annoyed by people. I don't know, but it's like current stuff, not stuff that goes to my past. Is that this? Do you work on anger work the same way with that?
Everything that we experience currently as a trigger is connected to something from our past. So you might not remember it consciously, but there were things that happened that made you feel upset or, probably angry when you were a kid, but you're not, but we can't keep track of everything bad that's happened to us. So we suppress certain things, which is why the echo tapping technique has you go back in time. I kind of just did it with everybody, like go back in time and tell me what this feeling reminds you of. So it's a way of accessing your subconscious memories without you having to remember it consciously. You keep popping around my screen. Um, so yeah, so one of the ways that you can tap into anger is and you can figure out what it's connected to is it's just by feeling the frustration that you're experiencing in the present moment. So
Okay.
yeah, so everything that you're experiencing that makes you angry or frustrated now is connected to something from the past. So all you have to do when you're there in the moment and you're feeling frustrated about somebody or something, just go back, say, okay, I'm going to allow my unconscious mind to go back to the earliest time I felt this way, or what does this remind me of, or who does this remind me of? Those are some really good inquiry questions. When was the first time that I felt this way? Those are the questions that you can ask yourself to pinpoint where it comes from. And then typically you'll have a memory. Actually, Katie just did it. You saw her do that, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So she's like, oh yeah, it took me back to this memory of when she didn't remember that in her conscious mind. But when I had her go through that process, her unconscious mind probably showed her a picture or an image or some sort of like felt sense that she had where she just like a knowing of what happened.
Okay. And then when we're doing, and to add on to that, when we're doing like the echoes and all that stuff, the furthest I can go back is pretty much like middle school time. I think I mean, I had a pretty good childhood. Um, and that's is that okay? Is that as far as, or do I need to still dig deeper and still keep trying to?
Um, I think when I first started tapping, I couldn't remember most of my childhood. I didn't identify with having a really good childhood. I identified with having a really bad childhood. So it wasn't it's possible to do these processes without remembering what's happened.
Okay.
And I don't want to, I think go back here it is. The question is, when is the earliest time, or when is the first time I felt this way? If your unconscious mind goes back to you in middle school, great. If it goes back to earlier, trust that. Don't say, oh no, I know my childhood was good. Nothing bad happened to me back then. Let it come. And if you hit something that's like a little bit scary, or hit something that you didn't remember, there's tons of support here, and we'll help you through it. We do it all the time and all day long. So yeah, I think just trust only your unconscious knows what the truth is. I don't know the truth. So use those questions as your guide. And often when memories are stacked, this is good for everybody to know also, is when you're going back, sometimes your unconscious will give you a couple memories all at once. Has anybody had that happen, where you go back and, like, I ask you the question, you're like, oh, you have like a couple that flood in? Focus on the first one. Usually the first one that comes up will be the quickest one, but that's the most important one.
Okay.
You'll probably have the tendency, most people will probably have the tendency to go to, like, cherry pick. They'll be like, oh, 2 or 3 might come up, and they'll want to go for one. So it's really important that you focus, and that the first thing you focus on is the first mental image that comes up, even if that's not what you want to focus on.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay. You're welcome, Jen. Yeah. I'm excited. How long have you been in the program?
Since January.
Okay. Okay.
And
Cool.
I've not gone through everything yet because I'm still working on some things, but
Okay. Okay. Good. Do you have a coach?
I do not.
Okay. Okay, cool. You guys are going to have access to the tapping circle starting tomorrow. You guys are going to get an email giving you guys access to it. We've been putting I kind of rushed my team by making the announcement a little early, but it was good. It put the pressure on us to get everything done. So, you guys will have access to that tomorrow. I shot the video telling you all about it. So you'll get the email. So Jen, if you want extra help, you'll have extra help, and you'll have group tapping sessions with coaches from now on.
Thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, Christine.
There we go. Hi.
Hello.
So to be here, day 12.
Yay! You're on it. I love it.
Yeah, it's been amazing. I just want to start off by I can't express enough how grateful I am. It's the first time in my life I can actually feel like give myself permission to say out loud, because growing up I didn't feel safe to feel and to express it. So I'm expressing it to myself and doing tapping. So it's like, oh my God, like my body is just so thankful that I have a place that I can feel safe, and it's for me, and doing it versus waiting to feel safe to share with somebody else or talk about something. So that's my first thank you. I've had, wow, I can't even, the number of wins. But a big one came up. I had 2 that I want to share, but one came up actually while I was eating one night. It was just, this person popped into my head, and I had this, it was his man. And I just was like, my intuition was like, nope, stop eating and start tapping. And so it took me into this whole, just from the sexual abuse part with anger towards men. And just, I know in your previous ones you've talked about where you get kind of graphic in what you're needing to
People
release. And I
consider that,
had
yeah.
that, like I was just
Mhm.
full on, and then being able to flip that into more of a pot, like not all men are that, like, and just opening space for to experience men in a different way than what is been here to teach me. So that was one. This morning I had another one. I woke up like at 3:30, and it was this insight into the militant upbringing I had. Like my dad's dad was in the military. He was the one that actually abused me, but or one of the people. And then my dad was very militant and very rigid and controlling and strict and all of that. And I just woke up of like, oh my goodness, like that has so been my flavor with food, is like this militant style, like control, rigidity, strict, versus ease and flow and kindness and love and gentle, which is actually my nature. Like it was like that's more my authentic, but I was mimicking my dad in order to, hey, see me, please love me, all of
Yeah.
that. So yeah, 3:30 this morning, I was tapping out. I was like, oh, do I wait to share this with Brittany to get her insight? And it's like, nope, just start tapping. And
Oh, good for
yeah,
you.
yeah. So I was just tapping through that, and just opening again space for a different way of connecting in all areas of my life. The need to control and all those illusions. So um yeah, so that was I need to share one more.
Yeah.
With my grandson, I watched him, and we had such a like this deep connection and giggles and laughing and play, and just it's like soul to soul. Like I was so in the moment, so connected. It's like and when I left, I noticed there was unease in me, and I was like, okay, what's up with that? And fortunately I had my buddy call after, and I was sort of sharing like, yeah, I'm kind of feeling like I'm not sure with that. She goes, do you want to tap on it? So started tapping, and it was like, oh my God, I'm not used to love. Like I was actually terrified, like of this connection with another being on that level. And so just tapped through that. And so that was like, wow, for me. And again, being able to get to the, like, yes, it's safe to connect with people and safe to, um, yeah, be my authentic. Like I was being my authentic with him, and just who I am, and allowing that expression. So those are kind of, I appreciate everyone for your patience. Those were three.
Christine, you tapped through huge thing. I mean, those are three of some of the biggest things I've ever heard of. You've only been tapping for 12 days?
Yeah. Yeah. I was so ready for this. You have no idea.
Wow,
I am
you were ready.
so ready to, yeah, for all.
Wow, good. Well done. Well,
So thank you.
way to
Thank you.
dive into the deep
And I
end.
haven't had any real like I'm just I was sharing, I think, with my buddy chat group, like that the part of me is like almost waiting for, like, okay, this too good. Like I don't have
Too good to be true. Tap on that, Christine, because that can surface as a saboteur and
right.
like,
Yeah, it's like, no, why can't it be easy? Why can't this be my reality moving forward? Like, so yeah, yeah. My question is around TV.
okay,
I'm freezing there. Um, can you hear me okay?
I can, yeah.
Okay. Um, TV has been like probably for the last, like, a really big escapism. And I'm noticing, like last night, I just had done a lot of like releasing, and I just wanted to kind of chill and watch TV, but I was tired. And it's like there's a bit of a fear of, because that would be when I just go down and binge eat while watching TV. Like I've associated like a dopamine with watching TV and eating. So, but I'd like to be able to be in a place where I can, oh, the word that's coming is actually trust, that I can relax and just give myself permission to enjoy, um, without having to be in that old mentality, I guess.
Totally. Yeah, that's a great question. And I will I'll customize this so that it also lands with other people. So this happens commonly. So you have it's kind of it's like a ritual. Does anybody have rituals with somebody or something, right? Like hers is TV is a super common one, Christine. So maybe yours is with the TV too. I hear this often with like my significant other. We have this thing where we eat dinner every night, and sometimes like a lot of the times I'm not hungry, but I still want to sit and eat with him anyway, because that's the time we connect. Or we always watch TV and then we share a bowl of popcorn and that's the time, or we share a glass of wine, or we share a drink. Does anybody have rituals like this with people that you'd love to break? Okay, cool. So I'll tell you how to do that. It's so simple. All you do is the ball of light. You do the ball of light with the TV and with the feelings, because what it's doing, yeah, Katie's face, she's like, whoa, you're so expressive, Katie, I love it. All you do is you do the ball of light with either the TV, which if it's just one thing, you can do the ball of light with the TV, or you do it with the person that you share that behavior with, okay? So you want to feel the good feelings of eating the food and then pass the ball of light from your heart to their heart. Because what you're doing in that moment is you're just really enjoying that time. Like Christine, I hear you saying like, I'm just really enjoying downtime and I want a way to be able to recharge myself so that I can, go back out into the world, which I think is a very healthy way to use TV, right? You just don't want it to be associated with having to eat something when you're doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would experiment with that for you, Christine. If that doesn't work, or if that doesn't shift things fast enough, then you try the push the food away exercise.
Okay.
For the only reason I'm telling Christine to do that is because hers isn't with a person. So I don't actually know which technique is going to work better for you. I would try the ball of light first, because it could just be like a one and done. And usually, you guys, it's literally just a one-time thing. You one and done, and you don't do that behavior. Or you can sit next to that person or sit in front of the TV and do that thing. And when they're like, hey, why aren't you eating? Or why don't you want popcorn? Be like, oh, I just don't feel like any right now. But there isn't this like control and restriction and like, oh, I can't have it. And oh my God, right? Like, that like mental dialogue and the willpower of going back and forth, that stops when you do this.
Okay. And that's what I'm looking for, is
Cool.
like that whole militant control, all of that. Like, nope.
Yeah. Yeah. So the ball of light, my sense is the ball of light will work, but if that doesn't work, then do the push the food away.
Okay. I also got that for going to a movie theater.
Yes.
Same thing. It's
Oh,
like,
I used to have that
like
too. You have to have popcorn.
Popcorn, the big, yeah.
Yes, that's another great way. If anybody else has a ritual with like going somewhere and you have to order a certain thing. My mom does this thing where she goes and she has to have the biggest Diet Coke ever, right? So yeah, I think mine used to be at the movie. I'd have to get popcorn, otherwise it's like not satisfying. Like you don't really feel like you went to the movie. Yeah. So you can keep that satisfied feeling and not have to eat the popcorn, or have a small popcorn instead of a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, great question. And thanks for sharing that, Christine. Wendy says red vines. Yeah, red vines. Okay. Hi, Courtney. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, Brittany. So
Hi. Diana, you're next.
I've been in the program for like a month and a half, and I just had my first coaching call with Kat.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, it went great. We were able to uncover some like childhood trauma, and she advised me to rest after, but I find that hard to do just because I'm a nurse. So there's my mind's always going 100 miles per hour of like, what do I need to do? I got to do this. I got to call this person. So I guess I'm kind of at the point where I don't know where to focus on. Like when I'm working on the lessons, they don't resonate with me. Like I told her like the cravings, I don't get cravings. I'm just like more of an emotional eater.
Okay.
And then I try to do the don't clean your plate. And I think when I do the lessons, it's like at the wrong time. Like I'll be in bed, like that's my time that I'm like resting. Or then like when I did the don't clean your plate, I already ate, and so I was already full, and I was like, okay, that I threw away the food and I had no problem after. So then
Yeah,
I-
it does take a little, it does take a little bit of time to go through the material and learn how to do. I mean, hopefully you're reading the emails, and the emails should come with instructions. So all the
Mhm.
emails will tell you like, hey, have a dinner with you, or don't, have a few bites of your dinner, but don't finish it. Right. So if you
Okay.
slow down and maybe read the emails that come with it, the directions
Mhm.
should be in there for everything. Also,
Okay.
yeah, um, the program is meant to be experiential.
Yeah.
So that's okay. You haven't done anything wrong. It takes a little bit of like, fiddling with it, I think, to figure out when to use the techniques. So it's basically, you don't want to be like super, super triggered the first time you do this. You want
Mhm.
to be like a little bit triggered, right? Um, so with the clean your plate, you want to eat a little bit of the food, but you still want to be at a point where you want to eat more of the food when you throw it away.
Right, right.
Okay. So you have to
Okay.
like pre-plan this stuff, right? So like, oh, I'm going to buy, I remember when I first did it, I went to a restaurant and I bought like a really fancy, expensive steak.
Mhm.
So, like you kind of, you're going to do it. You don't necessarily, but you're going to do it the first time. And then once you go through it, if you need that technique again, if you find yourself like, oh, I'm eating too much food, or if it's like, you're going to a party or something,
Mhm.
then you can do it ahead of time because you know how the process works.
Right, right. That makes sense. That makes sense.
And if you don't have cravings,
Mhm.
we created the program so that you can still you can jump right into the emotional eating technique. It's in the bonus
Okay.
section of the lessons. So go to the bonus section, and it's called Binge Eliminator. There's a whole class on how to do the emotional eating technique, and then a
Mhm.
15-minute audio of me walking you through how to do that.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Yeah,
Okay.
because I'm just kind of at a point. Well, because I told her I was like the first few weeks I was like not hungry at all. I'd eat like a few bites of my meal and I'm like, wow, I'm like super full. And then now I'm like it's back. My appetite is back again. She was like around like 2 to 3 weeks. That's kind of like when your body's like, okay, like this thing is working. So let's try to keep her safe. And so I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I could see that. So then I guess I'm just like don't know where to focus on because like I used to exercise like at least 4 to 5 times a week and then now I find myself I guess I'm self-sabotaging and now it's
Okay,
hard for
Courtney,
me.
here, I'll focus you. I'll focus you.
Okay.
The only thing I want you to do, I don't want you to listen to one new lesson plan. I want you to
Okay.
only do the push the food away technique.
Okay.
Notice anytime you want to eat when you're not really hungry, and do the push the food away.
Okay. Push the food away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And that's in the bonus section if you're
Okay.
not there yet. How long have you been in the program?
A month and a half
Okay.
now.
So you're not going to have access to that lesson, I don't think. Well, it's either the end emotional eating lesson or it's in the bonus section.
I
They're
think
in both
I do.
places.
I see the end emotional eating. I think
Okay,
it's
perfect.
broken.
That's the
Yeah.
only lesson that I want you to listen to, and that's the only technique I want you to practice for the next 30 days.
30 days. Okay. Okay.
Okay?
Got it. All right.
Don't do anything else.
Okay.
Because what's
Thank you very
happening too is exactly what your coach said. You have some success, and then your hunger comes back and you think you backslid, or you think you're back to normal. What you're
Yeah.
actually accessing is a deeper layer that your brain
Mm,
wants you to heal and clear. Um,
yeah.
and if you yeah so if you stop now, then your brain kind of wins and they're like, we got her.
Mm, I could
That makes
see
sense.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Thank you, Brittany.
Okay, you're welcome. There we go. All right, Diana, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, Brittany. Can you hear me?
I can, yeah.
Okay. First of all, I want to thank you so much for the last call. You answered my question. Well, I was carrying satanic energy and I had pain in my lower back and pelvis, and I had no idea. And you said you need to work on rage. Well, you hit it right on the head. I mean, absolutely. So I had one session with my coach on rage. It was very, very powerful. And now she's on vacation. It's Camilla. And so I won't see her again until next Wednesday. And I know there's a lot more rage, but I know that
Did she
Well,
teach you how to
I
do it on
think
your own?
there's such a very, very direct connection between the rage and the pain in my lower back.
I can see
Huge,
that
huge.
100%. Yeah. So do you remember, Diana, what you did with her? Do you remember the steps?
Well, it was all different kinds of, I can't do it by myself.
Okay. That might be true right now. That might be true. There is in the Golden Vault, there's a Q&A call where I explain how to do anger work, and I give a couple of examples of different ways you can do anger work. So if you want to watch that video and see if you can get some ideas to do it between now and then, I mean, Wednesday's around the corner, so you don't
Yeah.
have to right now, but if you're really excited about doing it, there's even some stuff that you can do, like sitting in a chair and punching air. So it, like, for all different types of circumstances, there's lots of different kind of anger sessions you can do, especially because you mentioned you're in pain. So
Okay.
sometimes the anger can get really intense. So in that call, on that Q&A call, I talk about different ways that you can access it yourself. So yeah, I think that's great, Diana. I'm so glad that that's working, and that
Well-
helped. I'm really excited to see what happens when you start. I would love for you to just focus on rage and anger work for the next at least 30 days. And let's just
Really?
see what happens. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I really like when people, when you hit a theme. I don't know why this works, you guys. I'll have like some Britney theory about it. But when you hit a theme, like if anger's coming up, it's really hard to also do push the food away or also work on cravings at the same time. Like when you're hitting anger, it's kind of like it's like all hands on deck, kind of just to focus on that thing. And so if you were able to dip into that so quickly, Christina, can you move your camera up just a little bit? Because I see you tapping and it's 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 messing with my ADD and I can't focus. Okay, thanks.
Well, that makes perfect sense to me because I am not able to do the cravings and I'm not able to do the push the food away.
Yeah. So that's totally normal. I don't know why it's normal, but in this world, that's totally normal.
Okay. Well, that's great. I do have two questions.
Okay, go
The
ahead.
first is, one of the things my grandfather did to me made me unable to breathe, and I've been on oxygen for some time now, and I think it's related to what he did. Any suggestions about how to address that?
Definitely bring that up with your coach. Kat's a great coach, and that's something that you should work on with her.
Okay, and we did some of that, but we can do more.
Great.
And the other question is, I finished my third week in the program, and now, especially since the rage work, I'm eating more and more and more. I'm getting fatter and fatter, and I'm assuming that that's normal because my subconscious knows that the program is going to help, and it's going to say, oh no, no, I want to stay in control. Is that correct?
It is. It happens for like maybe 20 to maybe 30% of the people. It happened to me. I was really, really scared, especially when we started working on sexual trauma. I was really, really scared as I was going through those sessions. And because, well, you can use your sessions as fast as you want. I would spread them out and give yourself at least 3 days in between your sessions. But if you wanted to book maybe, 3 sessions in I would say like a 2-week period, and you just go through all the sexual trauma, that will stop that like overeating and going crazy.
I didn't hear. How often did you say? I didn't hear that.
Give yourself at least 3 days in between tapping sessions because your brain needs a few days to
Okay.
settle into the changes. And often if you go too fast, the old changes haven't settled in, and you might think that it might, some of the old beliefs might still seem true, even though they're not.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
This is really so helpful.
Oh, good. I'm so glad you're getting a lot out of it, Diana. You're gonna make huge progress. All right. That's all your questions, right?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
awesome. Thanks, Diana. Okay. All right, Christine. Christina, are you okay? I see you tapping. Do you want to go faster? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I was just like, I can't. Here, I'll ask you to unmute.
I'm okay. I'm sorry. I'm just having anxiety really bad right now.
Well, why don't we talk? Christina, are you okay if I take Christina first? Okay. Yeah, let's check in. What's going on?
Okay. Just I don't. Sorry.
No, it's
I
okay.
don't like doing this on camera. I'm just having a hard time being on camera this week.
Okay. You want to turn your camera off? So I can hear. Now that your hand was raised, you can turn your camera off if it's better. Yeah. Okay. Turn your camera off.
If I can. Okay.
Here.
Okay. So
There we go.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I was trying to keep my camera on so I could be picked so I could talk to you. So
Oh, okay.
so
Okay. Yeah.
I've been having a hard time keeping going to groups too. So I've been talking to my buddies individually, but I can't, like, the bigger groups. It's really, really hard for me. So I'm in the middle of like doing like the deep boundary body work that we've been doing.
Okay.
And I did some really deep stuff with like I did the what do you call it? The kick the offender. So I remembered some stuff that I've never remembered before.
Okay.
And I also did some stuff about like my grandmother and her allowing the abuse to happen to us. And then right now I'm like working on what's come up is like trying to work through, like, I couldn't get into the whole thing with my dad being angry at him about allowing us to get hurt by his parents.
Yeah.
And I felt like I needed to do her first, but then I was like, and then I started, like, I was been tapping on it, and I was seeing like this thread that, like, this is like generational. So it's like going from my grandma, the stuff that she did to us, and then she did that to my dad and his siblings, and then it happened, like my dad did it to like physical, like abuse to us, and then keep coming out. And I don't hurt my child, but I've had to like stop myself from doing stuff, like, and I don't, like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel that it, and I see that with my brothers and my sisters, they don't hit their children, but I can see it in their face that they're really like having to like do self-control with it. And and I'm like, so I'm not sure I'm angry at her for doing all this damage to our family.
Yeah.
And so, but I can't seem to, like, I'm trying to bring it up to actually deal with this anger, because I'm confused on how to handle this. Am I supposed to do my dad first and then her, or like, what do I do here with that anger?
Great question, Christina. Thanks for bringing this up and for being so vulnerable. I can, I mean, I've been there before, and it's really hard to have a conversation when you're in it the way that you are. So I totally understand, how you're feeling right now. Let's get you through this really quickly. The best way to go about this is to not worry about who you're mad at, is to let the anger out of your body. I think the way it's showing up for you is with anxiety. So when we're feeling super anxious about something, often that's just a cover for anger. So it's like trying to keep the lid on all the emotions and all the anger and all of the overstepped boundaries that have been crossed. Okay.
Yeah.
So all you have to do is just allow yourself to like rage out for however long you want. You don't even have to make the connection about who it's towards, what it's about, because it's up and it's in there for you. You're trying to heal generational trauma. So don't be surprised if when you let out the screams that it sounds weird, or you like it seems a little scary. Let yourself just go ape shit as much as you can. Okay. I think that's what needs to happen right now. And honestly, I think, 30 minutes of you screaming your head off and hitting some pillows and going back and forth and just kind of like doing whatever feels you intuitively want to do. I know sometimes I've like gotten down on the floor and kicked and screamed like I'm having a temper tantrum. Like, allow your intuition to tell you how you want to get this out of your body.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah. So how like when I did the anger purge, I did 5 times a week for 2 weeks last time because I heard that in my head when you said 5 times.
Yep.
Do I do that again?
I think you do it as much as you feel like if you feel anxious, if you feel overwhelmed, if you feel angry the way you're feeling right now, that's your sign to do it. I wouldn't say go hunting for it. But
Okay.
if it's up for you, which it could be, I mean, this could be just like you're in a really deep purge and you're going to have to purge for a while. That's happened
Okay.
before. Especially with all the trauma that you're trying to heal. But this is the thing, you're healing generational trauma, lifetimes of generational trauma in like months or weeks,
Okay.
right? This is no
Okay.
small feat. Like, I want you to understand what you're doing right now is no small feat. So
No.
if it goes on for a couple days or a couple weeks, think about what you're doing. You're healing hundreds of years of generational trauma.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right? Which
Yeah.
is so fucking brave of you. So fucking brave. And thank you for being the one to do that for your lineage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brittany.
Okay, you're welcome. And you have some good buddies and people
Yes.
to support you. Okay, awesome.
Yes.
All right. All right. Thanks for popping on screen, Christina. And next time I see you, if I see you tapping, I'll come right to you because I know that you're in a purge right now. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Sending you
Thank
love,
you.
Christina. Okay. Bye.
Thank you, Brittany.
Okay, bye. Whew, all right. My goodness. A purge is a blessing and a gift. If you guys don't know what a purge is when you have a whole bunch of trauma that all comes up and it all wants to be cleared at the same time. And it doesn't happen to everybody, but it's happened to me 5 or 6 times in my career of tapping, and it happens to some people and it doesn't happen to other people. And it's happening to Christine right now. So that's why I'm gonna, if she raises her hand, that's why I'm gonna come to her, because it can absolutely consume your life for weeks. I haven't seen it go. I think the longest I've ever seen somebody in a purge was 2 months. That was the longest. Usually it's just a couple of weeks, if that. So, but yeah, just so you guys know, if I go right to her, that's why, because she's really, really in some deep stuff right now. But the good news is after the purge, your life gets exponentially better, like so much better. You can't even remember what your life used to be like. So that's the benefit of a purge. Okay, Christine.
Hi,
Hi.
Brittany, everyone. I joined the program at the end of, I think it was in December, and it's been a very difficult process. First of all, attending laser calls, I don't know what's happened, but there was always a problem. I couldn't make it, or I would forget or not write it in my agenda, and I wonder how much of it was self-sabotage. I don't know. And then I started doing the exercises and the ball of light. I've been doing it regularly with my mom, who's passed away, and with my dad. And I've been working with my coach, who is leaving in June. So I had to kind of make sure I would speed up, like I focused on the coaching. I'm in the gold program, so I focused on the coaching more than the program to make sure I wouldn't lose the sessions. And I realize I'm not very far ahead in the program itself, and that makes me worried. So and on top of it, I'm finishing my career, and that has been so demanding emotionally. I'm grieving my career right now. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and the coaching that we did, Sue and I, was like, wow, I went and so deep, and it's just mind-blowing. So I'm seeing results in the sense that I'm starting to feel more free. With the food, it's hard to see because my doctor put me on this medication that I think I mentioned to you on the call before, and the medication cuts all cravings, so it's kind of hard to tell. But I'm still doing all the exercises, and every morning I do 15 minutes of tapping, so that's almost like daily.
Great.
And I just want to know, like, I'm worried about losing the program, the parts that I haven't done because we're already
You're
in
not-
May.
You don't have to, you're not losing anything. You have access to the
I have
program. Take
time?
it away. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, all right. Okay, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that because I feel like there's still so much to do. Okay, great. So my question would be, can you help me focus on what it is I should work on now? And my second
Sure.
question might help you answer. One of my issues is I can't scream. I can't, this, like you said, hitting pillows and being on the
Yeah.
floor. I can't do this stuff.
Okay.
It's because I grew up in an environment where expressing emotion was dangerous. So I don't know how to scream. I even tried with my coach, and I would just get like I would choke and have difficulty breathing.
Yeah.
So how do I get past that, or is it okay to not know how to scream? Because sometimes I think, if somebody raped me or tried to kill me, I would be really in trouble because I'm
Yeah.
able to scream.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Let's help you with that. Okay, so this is super common for people who grow up in an environment where being angry is unsafe in some way. So it's what will happen if I get angry? You already said it, it's danger, right? Something bad will happen if I get angry. Do you know how to make your own tapping script? Have you done that before?
No, I haven't. I
Okay.
haven't,
So
but
what I want you to do, Christine, and anybody else who does anybody else have this, or you have a fear of getting angry, or it's hard for you to get angry? Okay, great. So I want if you would like to do this, here's a way to figure out what that's about for you and to create your own topic script around it. Sit down and write at the top of a sheet of paper, being angry means, and then listen to what your brain says and write it out on paper. If I get angry, they will
Okay.
answer here. Listen to everything that comes out of your mind. If I get angry, I will be just like
Okay.
my mother, go to hell. I mean, I don't know whatever your beliefs are. This is going to give you all the beliefs that you have around what it means to be angry. And this is the thing that's blocking. These are the beliefs that are blocking you from being able to scream and tap into those emotions. You're moving around my screen. I can't find you anymore.
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, okay, thanks. Okay. So does that make sense, Christine? And then once you have that, it might be one sheet of paper, it might be 5 sheets of paper. How you keep writing as long as you have different answers. Okay.
Okay.
And then that becomes your tapping script. Okay. Then you look
Okay.
at the tapping script and go, okay, even though being angry means I'm going to be just like my mom, something bad will happen. I might get hurt. I might be in danger. You keep saying, I completely love and accept myself. And you just repeat the beliefs over and over again until when you look at the page, they're not true anymore. Okay. So you
Okay.
probably need to tap, I don't know how long, maybe 20 or 30 minutes on the belief. You'll go from being kind of triggered to, oh, maybe you're a little bored. Maybe you get distracted. You start thinking about food or the laundry or something. Then the next day or a couple days later, you come back to it, you read it again, and you go through and you give every sentence you wrote a number on a scale from 0 to 10. Okay, how true is that now? You know what? 10 means it's super true. It's absolutely true. And 0 is it's not true. So then you go through and you say, you know what? That's a 5 now. I don't totally believe that anymore. So then the next time you say, even though I still believe that if I get angry, my dad will hurt me, I completely love and accept myself. Even though I still believe that if I get angry, I'm going to go to hell and I'm a bad person. Okay. So that's the round 2 is I still believe, or round 3, or all the rounds after that until you get to a 0 on everything.
Okay, so there's round 1 and then there's round 2, which is even though I still believe
Yeah. And round 2 and all the other rounds after the first round are all, even though I still believe this.
Oh, okay, I see.
Because it's honing into the remnants of whatever's left around that belief.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
I will try that.
All right.
And then for the courses,
Okay, so that's all. So just focus on that. That will probably take you 2 weeks to go through and to tap through everything.
okay,
So
Okay.
just focus on that for the next 2 weeks, and then come back for the next one, the next laser call, and we'll talk about what happened. Okay, step 2, if you feel ready, then you can watch the how to do anger tapping, and you can try some anger tapping on yourself.
okay,
Okay,
all right.
you can't come to the next laser Q&A call, but take 2 weeks to do this belief, to do this limiting belief work.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Brittany.
You're welcome. You're welcome. By the way, you guys, you can do this with any limiting belief, especially for those of you that have been in the program for a while and you've like cleared a lot of stuff. What's so cool is about limiting beliefs, they clear really quickly. So any topic that you have, I'm doing one right now for dating and having relationships. I'm like, okay, I've been single for 10 fucking years. What is happening? So I'm writing down a list of all the things I believe about relationships. Oh, no wonder I believe that, somebody's going to annihilate me if I'm in a relationship with them, or I'm going to lose all my time or my peace. So you're like, oh, okay, it makes sense why I wouldn't want that thing. So when you actually start to look at what's going on in your brain, when you think about, okay, why don't I feel like I can wear dresses when I leave the house at night? I mean, I don't know, whatever it is. Why do I get scared if I'm gonna to ask for a raise, or if I, double my income? Why is that scary for me? You can take whatever it is that you want to believe, or whatever it is you want to change in your life, and you can go through this process. It's really radical. It's a really radical process, and you can change a lot. So keep you posted on how mine's going. All right, Lee, and then Leanne is next. Hi, Lee. Go ahead and unmute yourself. I see you trying. Okay, I'll come back to you, Lee. Leanne, don't worry, Lee. You find it, I'll come right back to you. Hi, Leanne.
Hey, Brittany. So I think, it's like anger seems to be the theme here. And it's like I've been listening to everything you've been saying to other people, and it's kind of dancing around my issue.
Okay.
It's like, so I feel like, and I've been told, I actually had a coaching call with a coach in a different program that I'm doing now. And she's like, I feel like you have anger. And I feel like I probably have anger too, but I am just not in touch with it at all.
Okay.
And I'm wondering what can I do to like get in touch with my anger? Because I feel there's probably like a lot down there, but it just doesn't surface.
Yeah, sure. You know what? When I first started anger work, I identified as not being an angry person. I'm like, I'm not an angry person. And I had so much anger in me, it was ridiculous. But it took me about a year to even be able to really access the deeper parts of my anger. But that was before I knew how to do this process. So this will shortcut everything. You don't have to wait a year. So
Good.
let's just do the same thing that I just did with Christine. Okay, so I want you to think about getting angry and answer the questions. If I get angry, that means, what does it mean? Just give me one thing that it means in your brain. Ooh, did you freeze?
No,
Oh,
comes up. It's like, and it's like, I don't have a trouble getting angry at like I get mad sometimes at people, but it's like, I'm just saying, like, for my past, can I give you like a little, just like a little, like, here's the thing. It's like, I feel like, like my parents were very controlling, and it's like, so it wasn't even okay to, it's like I had to like do what they said because they just always knew. And like I can remember once years ago, like my cousin told my mother, she's like, and my mother would always say things to me like, oh, you need to lose weight, you can't do that, it's like, tell me, like, I had to lose weight, do that. And my cousin said, I can't believe that Leanne lets you say that to her. If my mother said that to me, I would get so mad. And my mother said, oh, Leanne doesn't get mad, she doesn't mind. And my mother was telling me that, and I kind of thought, well, yeah, I kind of do mind, but but it's like, I just don't, it's like, I don't feel it.
okay, you don't feel it. Okay, I think what's happening, I think I understand what's happening. I think what you're trying to do is you're trying to remember the situation and feel angry from the past.
Yes.
Okay. I want you to actually use the anger that happens to you today, to the people that you get mad at today, to access the well where it's connected to the anger from your past.
Okay.
So yeah, so whoever ticks you off, whoever makes you frustrated, it doesn't matter, or whatever situations happen, feel that frustration and that anger and use that. You can even, I used to use my tech guy. My tech guy has this really thick Russian accent and it drives me insane. It used to drive me insane. I used to use him as like, oh my God. Now I do not give and two shits, but I would use my frustration at him to help me access my anger. It wasn't about him or his accent. It was just, I don't know. I don't know what the connection was, but I was able to feel the rage. And as I expressed my rage, maybe, you know, a few 10, 15 minutes into expressing my rage, I would have a memory or a flashback. And then I knew it was it was connected to. So you don't have to start with, oh, mom, fuck you for saying that to me, because you're right. You put a lid on that so much that it's really hard to access that. Is this making sense?
Yeah, it's making sense, and I'm thinking things like I saw something today like when people ask really stupid questions, that pisses me off. So
Perfect. That's a perfect example.
yeah.
Okay, so just
Okay.
get into that next time it happens, or imagine, you know, you're around 10 people and they're all asking really stupid questions. Let that trigger you and then use that trigger. And again, you don't have to identify what it is right away. Just feel the anger, but also watch for flashes or memories or, you know, things from the past that will pop up that'll tell you, that'll remind you of the thing that happened in the past.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Good. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Also, if you want to join the purge group, I know there's a purge group going around. If you go to the Facebook group and in the search bar, Google purge, there's a WhatsApp group where people are in a WhatsApp purge group together. So if you guys want to join the purge group there, and then just have some accountability, if, you know, every time you do an anger session, you post it in there, or if you want to commit to like, I'm going to do 3 purges this week and you post in there. That can also be a really cool way to like access people that are, or to be around people that are also going through anger, that are working on anger. Okay, Lee, you figured it out.
Yeah.
All right.
It's Leah.
Leah, I'm sorry.
That's okay. So when I do push the food away, I have 2 themes that keep coming up, and I'm wondering what I need to do to clear them, because they come up as individual things. One is waking up in the middle of the night and being afraid. And I've seen myself in my crib. I've seen myself at 6, at 8, at 9, at 10 years old, and it's not clearing. So I'm wondering what that's about.
Usually when a push the food away isn't clearing and it's the same ages that come back over and over again, it means that you have to do anger work around it. So some angry or boundary work also. Anger and boundary work is usually the same. So, you know, I don't know if there's anything that happened to you, but
nothing happened to me. It was all being alone.
Being alone. Okay. Yeah. So then, yeah, then allowing yourself to get really angry about being left alone. Hey, that wasn't okay. I deserve to be loved.
Okay.
You know, here I am screaming for you and you're not coming. That's not okay. And do that at the top of your lungs or as powerfully as you can.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks, Leah. Okay, Marlene, and then Bridget's next. Hey, Marlene. All right, I can make it flash.
There we go.
There we go. Hi.
Hi, Brittany. Thanks for taking this. I'm obviously a slow learner, not thinking I am a slow learner because I've been focusing on getting on the buddy calls and that, and I've just been living in a lot of chaos. I lose my calendar and then I'm lost. And
It's okay. You're here now. How can I help you?
so, one thing, this anger thing, you had 3 sentences and I missed like the middle one. The first one was kind of like when I get angry is something that brings up anger, and then there was a second one, and then
Yeah,
if I
being angry means
being angry means
if I get angry, they will.
okay.
If I get angry, I will.
If I get angry, they will, and then I will. Okay, that's huge.
Yeah, I
So
better not get angry or blah, blah, blah.
yeah, somebody's gonna be swinging their fists.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of mine. I didn't realize that. And so the things I'm cluing in on now is how this program actually works. And I got about 5 months in and I was panicking, thinking,
No,
at 6 months, does
complex.
it all go bad, disappear?
No, you guys are going to have access to the tapping. So anybody that's graduating or that you're at the end of your 6 months, we're giving you an extra 3 months with the tapping circle, just like for free. So, we had to make it something. So it's 99 cents. So it's 99 cents for the 3 months. And then, so yeah, that extends your participation in all these classes. We're giving you some extra classes too. So anybody that's worried like, oh shit, I didn't get everything done, we're not going to kick you out. You have the extra 3 months starting, but you better get on your shit though, because 3 months, you got to get on your, we're not going to kick you out. We're not going to kick you out. It just won't be 99 cents after that.
Okay.
So that's all. Then it goes to like a low monthly membership cost just to stay in, to have access to all the classes and all of that and keep coming to these calls. And so that's how it works.
Okay, thank you. And
Okay.
then that's
Yeah.
generous. Thank you.
All right. You're
And
welcome.
and on the curious side of that, when I'm in like Think, Thin, and Thrive, does that have an expiry on it at that time also, or is any of this longer?
No. Just to stay active in the community and to keep access to all the tools and like the buddy calls and the classes and these calls and the Facebook group where you get all your questions answered. That's all going to be the thing that you either decide if you want to stay in, or you go to the what is it called? The alumni Facebook group, where you're still with other people that have graduated the program, but you're not on the active calls.
I see. Okay. And then do we need to find where this 99-cent charge is? So
You will get it tomorrow. You'll get it tomorrow.
all right.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
just look out for your emails, and then we'll share it in the Facebook group and share it with your buddies. So yeah, if somebody misses it or if it goes to spam, because everything goes to fucking spam these days. Yeah, just share it with your friends if you know that they want to access, if you know they're going to want to join that.
Okay, and I just saw that I was deleted. Sally deleted me out of something. Is that like a group that's no longer, a buddy group that's no longer active?
Might be a buddy group that's no longer active. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good
Yeah.
enough. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Hi, Bridget.
Hello, how are
Hi.
you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I just wanted to share that I started with Kim, with my private coach,
Great.
and I'm so happy that I did this because it's so good. We cleared a lot of childhood trauma, and last week I thought we were clearing some of my beliefs, well, which we did, but she put it in a different wording. She said, "Oh, we did clear some big lies." And that was because she does use this sentence, I now choose to step out of the agreement of that lie, and then we speak it. And that was so powerful.
Oh, that's very
really
powerful.
amazed. So yeah.
Awesome.
And another win was I went to the mountains last week, and I went on a big hike, 6 hours. And all of a sudden, I felt such a strong connection to my dad that I thought, oh, this is a really good replacement, because I used to work on the foods I was craving when I wanted to have him around. I mean, he died. But this is almost like it didn't come to mind that I could do something else to replace the eating, which, you know what I mean, the cravings I had. So after that hike, I felt so happy, and I was like, oh, I should do this more often.
Great.
And the other big win is that I did a lot of clearing and talking to my younger self. And now the younger self is talking to me. And that's really powerful as well, because sometimes when I feel like it's just the thought, that food looks nice, the little one is saying, you don't need that, it's okay. So because I felt like up until I was 15, I was very powerful and I could do anything I wanted. And I feel that power, I've got it back somehow.
Great. Oh, that's
And
amazing.
that's really cool. And sometimes it's like
Great.
she's talking to me when I'm feeling a little weak and I'm not anymore like, oh, I have to take care of her. I have to take care. She's not taking care.
Great. I
Yeah.
love it. Wow, that's beautiful, Bridget. I don't think I've had that experience actually myself. That's really cool.
And I have two questions. The first person who spoke about having food around to make her feel safe, I don't know if I still do it, but I usually have like food around somewhere, and I always have some boxes of sweets that I don't touch anymore, but they're still there. And when you did the exercise, I was thinking, what is that about? And I think when I was 15 or 16, I was on my way. Well, some people said it, but I wasn't really, but I probably was on my way to become anorexic. And I was fasting really a lot. And I remember I had this one night, I woke up and I thought, if I don't get something to eat now, I'm going to die. And I went up in the middle of the night and got something to eat. And I think it's something I need to be secure that food is around always, maybe. But I could tap on that, couldn't I?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very specific memory. Yeah, anything that comes up as a specific memory that you remember the beginning, middle, and the end of what happened, or if when you see it, it's in color, it's not in black and white. If you see it and it's very vivid and you can still see the room or the comforter or the pictures on the wall or the you can still see that person's face very clearly, that means that it's a very active trauma in your life and it's affecting you. It's you have beliefs and stories based on that experience that are actively basically controlling your life now. So we have all sorts of these, but when you go back and you see something and you remember it very vividly, that's what that means.
Okay. Yeah, I do. I can see that it's almost as if I'm in the film.
Yeah, that's how you know.
The other thing before, when I was talking about that, sometimes my younger self is talking to me. Yesterday morning when I woke up, I suddenly started to talk to my body cells, because sometimes I have like a mitochondrial problem, and I had this Lyme disease thing and then I know my cells are not producing enough ATP. And then while I was, after just waking up still in bed, I was just having this talk to the cells of my body. And in a way that was really good.
Great. I love it. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. And the other question I have is, like, with TV binging, I sometimes watch too much TV without eating. And when you said do the ball of light with the TV, so shall I do that or push it away? Okay.
Yeah. You know what? I haven't done that one for myself in full transparency. I've wanted to break that pattern for myself too. I don't know if it's a ball of light or if it's push the TV away. I think it will probably depend on the moment and I think it's like alcohol, where it will change depending on the driver. So if there's some uncomfortable feelings that are happening that you're trying to avoid, it'll be push the TV away. Or if there's really good feelings that you're trying to recreate, it'll be ball of light. So I think you'll use them interchangeably. Okay. Yeah. Does anybody else want to break their TV addiction? Everyone's like, oh, I don't know. I'm gonna keep that one. Okay.
I think I cover up that I'm lonely
I'm
and
keeping mine too. But yeah, I have a feeling that I have a feeling that you can break it. I just haven't wanted to do it yet.
okay. Okay.
Like giving up
That's
coffee. Yeah. Okay, Bridget. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Andrea, and Julie will be my last caller tonight just because we're gonna stop right at the top of the hour. No, I got you, Faith. I got you, Faith, Jennifer, and Julie.
Hi. Oh, thank you. Hi, Brittany. So good to see you. I'm a newbie, so I've just been on board for about 2 weeks or so, and I'm having some breakthroughs, which I'm so excited about. I wanted to just follow up on a couple of things you said today. You said to not do some exercises, to only do them like every third day. I thought we were, and so I'm a little confused. Should we be tapping every day?
With your coach. So with the coach, you usually go and you do really deep sessions.
Yeah.
So if you're working on a theme like sexual trauma and you're like, you want your coach's help for that, which I suggest everybody do. It's more of like the theme-based tapping. Spread those out. You can tap every day, but usually when you tap every day, they're on different topics and different things. But if you're just focusing on the same thing, spread those out.
Okay. And okay, so this is the thing that you said about theme. So if I start with a focus on one thing, but I'm noticing that as I tap, it starts to metamorphose into other things. Is that
More
okay?
things. You know what? That is typically your unconscious mind trying to distract you from really healing the thing that you set out to work on. So yeah, especially if it's sexual trauma or anything big that's happened, your brain will be like, well, what about this? What about that? What about that? And it'll all seem really important. So yeah, it's actually a really tricky thing. And unless you know, thank you for asking that, because unless you know that that's happening, it can seem like the other things are more important even. So what I would always do when that would happen is I would just write them out on a pen and piece of paper or, on your phone or whatever it is. And that gives your unconscious mind the knowledge, or that gives your unconscious mind the safety of knowing, okay, it's documented, we can come back to this. And then go back and focus on and finish the thing that you started with.
Okay.
Also, it's a judgment call sometimes in the moment. Like if you start working on a small thing and then something really big comes up that it's like, that's way more traumatic than the first thing. Sometimes it can actually be the opposite. So it's really a judgment call in the moment. I guess it depends on, I would go with the biggest trauma, the biggest emotional thing.
Got it.
Yeah.
I also just want to thank you for something that so deeply resonated with me about you've been guiding others on this call to take one thing and do it for 30 days. Because I can also have parts of me that are very anxious, like, oh, I'm not keeping up with enough I'm not doing enough. And then I get overwhelmed and I've just started. I'm already feeling a little overwhelmed. So it's so helpful to hear that sometimes we just need to go super slow and get anchored, and then we can go faster later on. Totally. So that was so comforting. But the parts of me that were so anxious just totally calmed when they heard you say.
Good. Do you know what you're going to work on for the next 30 days?
I think anger.
Okay, good. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So, I would encourage everybody to jump into the WhatsApp group, the Purge group. Like, and say that you're there, like announce that you're there, be like, hey, I'm Andrea, I'm starting a 30-day purge challenge. I would try to do anger work every single day, but maybe say, I'm going to do it, 2 or 3 days a week or whatever it is, whatever feels like the right amount for you. And then post about it when you're in the Facebook group.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Awesome. Okay. Hi, Faith.
Hi, Brittany. First of all, I wanted to just give you an update because I've been in the program now a year and a half, and the most amazing thing has happened is I've been doing so much anger work, clearing up so much stuff, and working with my coach. And here's the miracle. My stepmother, who was an abuser, is out of my head. Wow. And my stepbrother, who was the abuser, is out of my head. And what I have in its place is nothing. It is just feeling to not have anything here.
Isn't it amazing? It's has
And I,
anybody else had that
I keep,
experience? It's pretty cool when that happens the first time. You're like, oh, this is what it's like to have a brain or like have a calm brain.
yeah, and it's happened 2 different times, and I keep saying, "Oh, I'm sure the other shoe is going to drop," and it still hasn't, and it's been 2 weeks, and I'm thinking, "Oh my God."
Okay, Faith, will you please tap on that? Because I feel like you kind of manifest your problems back when you
Oh,
by thinking that. Will you, and you can't bring them back, but you just like you create more problems for yourself. I know it's because you love me and you love this class so much, but I would like you to graduate at some point. I give you permission to graduate, Faith. So
I do plan to graduate, but I'm going to keep coming back.
I want you to keep coming back and keep tapping with me. I would love that. I just don't want you to have to struggle with the same problems.
I know, and that's
Okay.
why I'm sharing with you.
Great. Good. So will you
Thank
please
you.
tap on the fear that it's going to come back?
Okay.
Do that this time for sure.
Okay. And
Okay.
that's all I really wanted to say.
Okay.
So grateful for
I'm
you.
so happy for you. Thank you for sharing that, Faith. I'm super proud of you. You've been doing anger work for a long time. That is a huge shift. I can't wait to see what your clear-headedness brings to you.
I can't either.
I know. It's going to be amazing. All right. Thank you, Faith. All right, Jennifer.
So last time so I just first of all want to say that I'm actually feeling in really good emotional space at the moment, which is kind of lovely
Awesome.
and feels kind of atypical. So I want to celebrate that for the moment, even though I don't feel like my eating has changed at all, but I'm grateful for the emotional bubble that I'm in right now. Last time when I raised my hand, your recommendation to me was to intentionally eat 3 meals a day and like not try to do
the fasting,
intermittent fasting. And so I did that the very next day, and I actually for the first time in my life tried to count calories because I have never done that before. And you were like, make sure you have 500-600 meeting. And I discovered that what I was typically having for my first meal probably was never like a sizable calorie thing. And then I kept doing that. But unfortunately, so like that was a wonderful learning to have.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I've now sort of been like, oh, now I can eat all day long. So I'm still not managing to like
Well, remember how we talked about after you eat breakfast, and then if you want something before lunch that you were going to do the push the food away? Did you? It's a lot. I mean, that's
I kind
the
of dropped
part
the
that
ball on that
probably,
one.
yeah. Okay, but no, you know what? Honestly, Jennifer, that's too many things to do in 2 weeks. For real. Like just getting yourself to eat 3 meals a day and tracking your calories, that's already really overwhelming. So I want you to count that as a huge win. That's a huge win. Okay, you're doing awesome. Okay, you're doing awesome. You could probably even keep just that going for the next 2 weeks. Are you starting to notice that your body is becoming hungry at the time? Oh, wait, you said you're grazing.
I'm still
Great.
not
Okay.
doing a great job of
Okay, good. So you're
stopping between
eating
meals.
breakfast. You're eating breakfast. Okay. So after you know that you have breakfast and you're eating like a full meal, you're satisfied, you're satiated, right? Like you're like, oh,
Yeah.
what a breakfast should be like.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. And you're eating like real food too. It's not just like a protein shake.
Yeah, no, like for breakfast, I'm having like 3 dippy eggs with some cheddar cheese.
Perfect. Okay. I would throw maybe some like a piece of toast in there too, just to like kind of give yourself some carbs. It's really hard for your brain to run without carbs.
Okay.
I wouldn't try to do any sort of keto or like cut major food groups out or give yourself a sweet potato. Give yourself
Okay.
balanced. You need to have balance. Okay. Everybody who's had an eating disorder, you listen, you can go back to being keto and doing intermittent fasting after you conquer this challenge. Okay. I give you permission to do that in the future. Right now, though, you need balanced approach. I would even maybe add some broccoli into it. The dinner for breakfast is always the best. like, because you usually have a balanced meal at dinner. So just make more of dinner and then eat that for breakfast if that feels out, and put an
Okay.
egg on it like the Filipinos do. Okay. So, okay, so you're having a breakfast, protein, carbs, and fat. You forgot that part, but add that part in. Give
Okay.
yourself some carbs. Okay. So then after that, the next time you want to eat food before, so what time is your breakfast?
So like I've been trying to make that around 9 o'clock. So sort of
Great.
between
9,
my chunks of
10,
meetings.
11, 12, 1. Okay. So then would your lunchtime be like around 1, between 1 and 2?
Somewhere between noon and 1.
12 and 1. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So I want you to have at least 4-hour window, at least a 4-hour window in between your meals. Okay. So,
Okay.
and you can take it from the start of the meal. So you eat at 9.
Okay.
Again, this is rough math. Like
Yeah.
you don't have to be. Okay. So say you're going to eat breakfast around the 9 o'clock, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. 1 should be the next time that that's when we want, or 12:30, whatever. Try
Okay.
to eat your next meal at 12:30.
Okay.
Okay. So if you want to eat food, and this is after you add the carbs and the vegetables too. Okay. So
Okay.
if after that you want to eat before 12:30, or like say it's 10 or 11, if you're hungry at 12, let yourself eat, because that's when right?
We're not going to nickel dime over 5 minutes.
Exactly. So if you're
Fair
hungry
enough.
between the hours of 10 and 11, that's what it's emotional, because you should have had enough food, right?
Right.
And it was a
Okay.
balanced meal. So that's when you do the push the food away.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So there's a lot still, because now you're having to add more food. So, okay, this is still a lot. So you don't worry about being perfect about this. Okay.
Okay.
Just worry about adding the food, or just focus. Don't worry. There's no reason to worry. Just focus on adding the food, the right foods, and then just observe yourself. Be like, oh, I got peckish at 11. That's weird. I had plenty of food. Okay, let me see what this is about, and do a little push the food away, and then do the same thing between 1:30 and 5. If you're hungry at 2, 3, or 4, you either didn't eat enough for lunch, or it's emotional eating and you want to do the push the food away.
Okay.
Sometimes it's hard to know, because I still don't know if you're really just eating, or if it's because you don't have enough carbs. Like, because you only ate 3 eggs and you're not eating carbs, we don't know. Maybe your brain is just like really looking for carbs.
Okay. Because carbs are what I gravitate to for
Yeah, because
the
you're not intentionally, but that's
mid-meal
like oh,
craving.
okay, fine, fuck it. That's when your brain is like, Jesus Christ, I just need something. So if you
Okay.
intentionally give yourself carbs and you're okay with it, you make peace with the carbs. If you intentionally give yourself carbs, you might not have this backlash later on.
Okay.
Yeah. This is really hard to do also, you guys. Anybody else that's working on their food and retraining themselves on how to eat, this is really, really tough to do. Yeah, Jill's like, yes, me. So yeah, you could work on this, Jennifer, for the next couple of months.
Okay.
Big deal. But I'm
All
super
right.
glad you're doing it, though. I'm glad you're doing it.
All right. Thanks, Brittany.
Okay. Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks, Jennifer. I'm glad you checked in. All right, Julie, our last caller. Last. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. I just need it. Here, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Sorry, I jumped the gun on that. Hi. Okay. I'm really struggling with self-sabotage. As you can see, I was ready to go for a run. I was like, oh crap, there's a meeting at 4. So here I am. And I love to run, but I'm really good at finding other people to help in order to not go. Like, I have kids and I live on the farm with other people, which also makes it hard. But so I did this, the saboteur, what is it, chapter 8? I don't know what it is.
Did you do the one about exercise?
No, not yet. I like to exercise. I don't.
Oh,
so
okay.
I don't have.
Is your sabotage always about exercising though?
No, it's about me. It's always about taking care of me, which is usually the only thing I do is exercise for me.
Got it.
That's and this course, and that's that's it. And
Glad I
somehow
made
I can find that boundary for this, but so whatever, I don't know what chapter is it, chapter 8?
Yeah, 8 is self-sabotage.
And so my authority figure is probably my father, and he was always like emotionally unavailable and kind of like he's Italian, but like unintentionally manipulative and right, like just like probably not on purpose. And my parents were separated since I was 2, so there's always like this guilt from him and from her of whose house I go to. So it's like I was trying to work through it, and I just couldn't, like, he's also the more loving, attentive parent, and the one that I don't really get angry at because he's so sensitive. And it's like I always tiptoe, and like I live like 200 feet from him, and so it's like
Oh, okay. I had this with my dad also. So the tapping that helped me with this, let me see if I need to change it for you. Even though I know I should be mad at him, I can't feel mad. Is that what's happening? Are you not able to feel mad, or
Well, I've tried, so I've done anger work on my mom, and it came quite easily.
right? There's usually one parent that's more challenging with.
Yeah, and I did do that because that's in the golden vault. I
Oh,
did
good.
do that with him, and it maybe helped a little bit, but it's like,
Well, maybe those aren't the right words though.
well, no, yeah, maybe, I don't know, but it's more like how I saw him maybe parent. I don't know, because he was not like authoritative. It was more like emotional manipulation, maybe not on purpose, but that's, see, I'm even making excuses for it.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
so
so is it
then
like,
I'm emotionally manipulate myself, right? Like I
Yeah.
don't like outright be like, F it, I'm not gonna do this, or like it's just like, oh, but
or is it like, even though I'm afraid if I get mad at him, I'll lose his love, or I'll
yeah,
lose his
maybe.
attention? I think
Yeah,
maybe.
maybe.
Okay. So yeah, there's the fear of like, if I get angry, then who's gonna love me? Or yeah, who will I have then?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, because I tiptoe around because
He was the nice one.
yeah, and I mean, he has actually a couple times said to me, like, I did something that he didn't like, and he was like, that's it, I disown you. And I'm like, good grief. Like, he's such a dramatic Italian. So yeah.
Oh, okay. So maybe there's also that like part of you that might believe that that's true. If I get mad at him, maybe he'll disown me, then I'll be abandoned. Then, we never want to be kicked out of our tribe, right? That's your tribe.
Yeah.
So I can't bear, I'll die. If I lose my tribe, I'll die. If I lose him, I'll die. It's very life or death when we're thinking about parents and tribe. So I would play with the right words, but it's, what am I afraid of? What am I afraid of? When you think about getting mad at him, what am I afraid of happening? What will he do? What will I do? What will happen? If I get angry at him, XYZ will happen.
Yeah, he'll never forgive me, or he'll stop loving me, or
And if he stops loving you, what does that mean?
right.
So there it is.
Right. Well, I like, in my mind, whenever we work together, so it's even more complicated.
Yeah. Okay.
In my mind, like we have a business and a farm together. In my mind, it's like, it's always like, okay, what is the right way to do this? Because if I don't do it right, then it's like always like trying to earn his love and approval. That's what it is.
Okay. Okay. So I'm not allowed to get angry. Sounds like, yeah.
Not.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to be angry at him.
Yeah, no, not really.
Okay. So write out all your beliefs of what will happen if you, really sit with that. Who will I be? What will happen? I'm not allowed to get angry at him. If I get angry at him, then I'll lose my love. I'll lose the farm. I'll lose my business. I mean, I understand why you can't get angry at him. This is like all the things rely on this man, like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, like everything's on your dad. So if you lose your dad, you lose everything.
Right.
So yeah, that's primal. That's going to be primal. So yeah.
Do you think that will help the self-sabotage or just work through this?
100%. Yeah. I would even say I refuse to get angry at my dad.
Yeah.
I refuse to get angry at him because, you know, I'd rather sit here and suffer than get angry at him, because then at least I have a roof over my head and food in my mouth. Right? It's your reptilian brain is like, that's not the dude to get mad at. Like, we got too many things tied to this motherfucker. So yeah. So write out your list of things that you believe will happen if you get angry at him, and then tap on that, like you heard me explain with the
Yeah, I did hear you. I didn't think that's where this was going, but yes, okay.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
you.
thanks for asking for clarity on that. That is super tricky. I'm really glad you raised your hand and got clarity on that. And let me know, does that feel true? Do you feel like does that resonate?
Yeah, I mean, I can't get angry at him. He won't like separate me from the business. Like, it's not that extreme, but he will. Yeah, it's like, yeah,
So
I've never
also,
been able to.
the
get angry.
reminder also too is you're not getting angry to his face, right?
Yeah.
So, like, you're getting angry behind his back, but sometimes your unconscious mind doesn't know that, right?
Yeah.
Because we can't tell the difference between what's real and what's imagined, which is why this stuff works so well. So
Totally.
it's kind of like getting mad at him. And yeah, if you've got all your whole world tied up in, you know, pleasing him, if I don't please him, if he's upset with me, XYZ will happen.
Yeah, I just won't have love. Like, it goes back to childhood. It's always been like, I'm sorry, it's always been like that with
And then ask yourself also, as the second question, if I don't have love, you know, what does that mean?
Yeah.
If I lose all my love, that means, so it's yeah.
I have lots of other people's loves, but yes.
Yeah, but there's
true.
but this is, yeah, we're just going to focus on him though, because there's something that's tied. His love is different because it's tied to others.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, even as a child, like, I always had to earn his love. I always had to do something to get his attention, or like, yeah.
Okay. And I would just do the opposite of everything. So if I don't earn his love, or if I upset him, right? That's the opposite of earning his love. If I upset him, XYZ will happen.
Okay. Okay, I'll focus on this for
probably 2 weeks at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anger work definitely made me able to tolerate my mother, so that's something.
Good. That's great. I know. I just committed to another 4-day vacation with my mother, which I am shocked about. So, but she's lovely now. I actually really like her. But that's a new experience. So, but isn't it so nice that we can appreciate our parents? You know, like they're still alive, and we get to have that experience of like making peace with them, and
It's true.
So that's really a gift.
But actually, my stepdad just walked in while we were on here, and like my heart, like,
oh.
Yes. So I'm glad that they left before it was my turn to talk to you. I was just like, oh gosh, like, that's another thing that I'll have to work on later.
Yeah, one person at a time.
Right. Okay. Also, I'll do this for 2 weeks then.
Perfect. 2 weeks is not very long. In the span of a lifetime is not very long.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Thank you, ladies. Great call today. Hope you guys learned a lot and had a lot of shifts. Happy tapping for the next 2 weeks. Mwah. See you in 2 weeks. Bye.